There's some other very interesting metaverse innovations coming. One is this idea that the metaverse might be the new hope for mental health. And that's a very interesting concept. Can't wait to dig into that. Our next guests believe that that is the case, and they're launching a platform that encourages a culture of well-being in the virtual world. So joining us to discuss that is the very well-known Deepak Chopra, co-founder of Seva.Love, and Poonacha Michaya, CEO of the Chopra Foundation. Welcome. So great to have you both here. Deepak, let's just start with you. So I think this is such an interesting concept. I'm personally very interested in the metaverse. And this idea that the metaverse could be like somehow a haven for well-being or mental health, I think is kind of counterintuitive, right? Because there's a lot of people out there being like warning that the metaverse is going to bring doom. It's just going to be all these people sitting in their houses, glued to the virtual world. They're going to stop interacting with real human beings, and that this is going to be terrible for mental health. I think there's a lot of people who believe that, right? That it's just going to be sort of like the smartphone problem times a million. And so I'm just curious to hear your take and how you can explain in the most concrete possible terms why increased access to the metaverse would actually be good for mental health and well-being.
Okay, I'm glad my co-founder Poonacha Michaya is also here to go over the techniques and the technologies. But just to give you an example, during the pandemic, we launched a website called neveralone.love, and we employed an artificial intelligence chatbot to talk to teens. Right now, suicide is the second most common cause of death among teens, and every 40 seconds, somebody in the world is dying from suicide. And we had an AI emotional chatbot that has intervened, I believe, in about 6,000 suicide interventions, and also is having almost 20 million conversations simultaneously. So we think AI, VR, extended reality, and the new metaverse with your avatars will be a great way to create communities of well-being around 4 principles right now: attention, deep listening; affection, deep caring; appreciation, deep gratitude; and radical acceptance. And then as we embark on this metaverse, in real time, we will see biometrics and the connection between mind and body so clearly, because no mental event doesn't have a physiological correlate or biological correlate, and vice versa. We can monitor and employ artificial intelligence and deep learning systems to make mental well-being and physical well-being precise, predictable, personalized, preventive, and participatory.
That's super interesting. So I'm very into this concept, but I just kind of want to play devil's advocate a little bit, because I do think this is really counterintuitive. A lot of the studies out there talk about, like Instagram or just smartphone addiction as being really bad for mental health, especially among, younger generations. And you're right that like in the pandemic, sort of the virtual world was all many people had. But I guess the question is like, why would this kind of virtual experience be better for mental health and well-being than just like having people interact more in real life? Like, what's the advantage there? I think some people would say like it would just be better for people to have more actual human interaction.
Both are important, but as we move into the future, our virtual lives and our real lives, our digital lives, and what we call our real lives will merge and will become hybridized. And there's no way to avoid that. Technology is neutral. What we do with it depends on our emotional maturation and our intellectual understanding of who we are. And we think technology can be used for both divine and diabolical purposes. Poonacha has some very interesting metrics on this as well, counterintuitive or not. Everything that's new in the beginning looks counterintuitive.
Technology, maybe you can walk us through some of those metrics and then tell us, what is the Chopraverse all about?
Yeah, I think when Deepak and me decided to Seva.Love, we saw an entire generation moving from Web 2 to Web 3. And we said, how do we create a more conscious Web 3? Whether we like it or not, apps is kind of moving away. I think now we see the entire emergence of children growing up, right? There's a huge amount of children as young as 10 and 12. Children are playing, Call of Duty or Fortnite. Our goal is to in stream instead of trying to create a whole new medium, work with the medium which is currently out there. So how do we bring mindfulness? Deepak's whole principle is bringing the 7 pillars of well-being into the communities. We did that with meditation, with the Oprah Chopra meditation. Started off initially with CDs, right? Eventually, it created an entire category that leaders now like the company's Insight Timer. Our goal is to really start creating what we call the Chopraverse. And it's really starting actually creating an environment where it's going to be a home. And in the house, you could go bedroom and you can listen to meditations on sleep. You can go to the living room or the kitchen and get cooking classes, and just even young adults are interacting on their platform. You could actually bring in well-being. Or imagine you're playing Fortnite, and when you're between sessions, you can actually get a mindfulness lesson or breath work. Integrate that with your Apple Watch to regulate your breathing and reduce stress and anxiety. I think our goal is to really bring well-being into this entire new metaverse. Early stages, but we are here for the metrics. I think this is what Deepak spoke about. I think the chatbot which we deployed had more million text messages, or more than 12 million minutes of conversation, and 4,900 suicidal ideas. And people were comfortable actually talking to a AI chatbot because they loved anonymity, and it was 24/7, right? So there was almost a 24/7 therapist available.
Yeah, Deepak. So, just reading some of your articles, and you mentioned, how veterans with PTSD can use the metaverse to help them. Maybe you could walk us through that process.
When people go into a state of deep relaxation and there's vagal stimulation, the vagus nerve is the rest and rejuvenate nerve, which counteracts sympathetic overdrive, which is what we're seeing with young people and older people as well. Anxiety, depression, inflammation go together and very frequently precede physical illness. And now that's easily measurable.
No.
So as we move into even better biometrics, looking at facial expressions, eye movements, tone of voice, heart rate variability, blood pressure, inflammatory markers, we can relate that with facial expression, tone of voice, body language, gestures, and heart rate variability, and see that actually your emotions are connected to every aspect of your biology instantly. When you feel panic, your blood pressure goes up, your body gets inflamed instantly. When you fall in love or have the experience of compassion or joy, biometrics change instantly. You can monitor this in real time and intervene in real time. So a few years ago, I did a program, live intervention, with people wearing Fitbit through meditation and stress management. We had 1.3 billion hits in the media and many, many millions of people participating. So today, as I said, everything is measurable. The Chopraverse house will have different rooms to cater to different aspects of your biology: the physical body, the energetic body, mind, intellect, ego, and going all the way back to what we call pure consciousness, the source of all experience, which has been talked about in wisdom traditions, but today finds its place in modern technology.
So Deepak, as you know, the metaverse is becoming an increasingly crowded field. There's so many different companies and startups trying to get into it. One of the problems has been actually getting people into the metaverse. A lot of these metaverses are relatively unpopulated. And then we have this huge player, Meta, formerly known as Facebook, trying to, be the leader in this. Investors aren't showing a lot of confidence. And some people are really questioning, should a company like Facebook that's had so many, data privacy scandals and just been such a monopolizer of the internet, should they really be one of the pioneers in this space? So I'm just curious if you have any thoughts about Meta in general.
The principles of evolution sort everything out. And Metaverse is evolving right now. And some big giants might become dinosaurs if they move in this area only with the intention of making money. Right now, our metaverse is called Seva.Love, which means love in action. We have employed it for many causes already. We created NFTs in the metaverse to save bears, to build a school in Nepal, to raise money for Amelia Clark and our Brain Injury Foundation, more and more of that. And for those who can't afford to our services or the services available on Seva.Love, we have actually partnered with Earth Fund, and we've cryptocurrency and blockchain to help pay for counselors in real time if that's needed. So the whole metaverse is evolving. It's unstoppable. And the giants may not survive, as we've seen in the past. When technologies take quantum leaps of creativity, it's the small guys who usually become the big guys till they become the dinosaurs. Crypto is here to stay. Metaverse is here to stay. We have to be patient, and we have to ask, what is our motivation? Now, if the motivation is only money, then I don't think it's going to have a future.
Mm-hmm. Deepak, I wonder if you could illustrate for us, just as we wrap it up, what is the state of mental health today, and where do you envision it to be in the future?
Well, right now we know that, as I mentioned earlier, every 40 seconds somebody is dying from suicide. And it is very interesting. We no longer make the distinction between physical health and mental health. The two are correlated. In fact, even during COVID, all the data showed that people who were getting sick had inflammatory storms. The inflammation markers were increased, but they were also depressed and anxious and heavy rest. So with the new technologies, including vagal stimulation and biofeedback in the metaverse, we see endless possibilities and no longer have to make this distinction between mind and body. Wherever a thought goes, a molecule follows, and wherever a molecule goes, it's triggered by thought and intention and attention. The state of mental well-being in the world is in a crisis, and it's related to all the other things that are happening: physical pandemics, mass migrations, and warfare and terrorism and cyber hacking. This is the dark side of technology, but there's a bright side also. As I said, technology is neutral. What is our intention? Our intention is love in action with authenticity, integrity, a higher purpose, and deep responsibility.
Deepak, one final question before we go. Obviously you are a very well-known person. You have quite a large following, and, one could say you are a celebrity. And there has been some controversy about celebrities getting into anything regarding, tokens or cryptocurrency. For example, Kim Kardashian was hit with a huge SEC fine for promoting a token on Instagram. And so I'm just curious, what is your feeling just about celebrities getting involved in crypto and promoting? I mean, obviously you're not here shilling a token, but what is your feeling about that, and where should the line be drawn?
I think celebrities in general have to be very careful that they don't talk about things they don't know anything about. So I am actually very critical of celebrities getting involved in anything that has to do with an area that is not their expertise. I've devoted my life. I'm an MD. I'm a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians, the American College of Physicians, and we have our foundation, which has a library which backs everything we do with deep data and scientific backing. And our venture into the metaverse is only about well-being. And even the tokens that we employ are only to help people who can't afford to participate in their well-being in the way we are offering it right now. So I am not doing this because I'm a celebrity. I have always been in the forefront of mind-body medicine. And this is the next leap in creativity. And, I can guarantee you in 5-6 years, pharmaceuticals will be replaced by digiceuticals, and your avatars will be acting with the avatars of counselors and doctors, and you will be biologically exchanging information and actually rewiring your brain and even re-engineering your genetic activity. Epigenetics, neuroplasticity, and mindfulness, meditation, mind-body practices, yoga, breathing are all coming together. And this is what I've focused on for the last 40 years.
Deepak.
And this is therefore a great opportunity.